Welcome, everybody, to week 14, where it is 1 week away from your fantasy playoffs. And unlike basically almost every quarterback in the damn NFL, the DFS Deli still has its starting QBs at the helm. So sit back, relax, pull up a chair, grab your favorite beverage, and welcome on in to the DFS Deli. Ooh, welcome in to the DFS Deli. I, of course, am the proprietor of this delicatessen, Sully Ali Shahid, and joined tonight on a late Wednesday night to look at the first coming of the Week 14 slate is my main man, Chill. Chill, welcome back to the deli. Welcome back to work. How's everything going
Hey,
tonight?
it's going pretty well. I can't really complain. I did take down a an early only tournament last weekend. We got there as
We got there.
as I told
We
you
got
on the couch.
Yep. We got there.
So a huge shout out to Gardner Minshew, touchdown to Michael Pittman in overtime. So we needed that. So it was a good week for me, and I'm just ready to get back to this slate. Apparently, the Deli and Minshew are just apparently it's just a thing for us. So can't really complain, and I'm ready to dive on in.
Yeah, I got to keep that in mind for this week, seeing as how the Gardner Minshew could be on the menu, as it were, coming up on the Week 14 slate. As I mentioned in the intro, it's almost playoff time for the yearly folks. So this is where there's going to be probably a nice little dip with DFS, and then it'll kick back up after people are officially eliminated. Are you on any fences in some yearly leagues?
Yeah, so one of my yearly leagues, the playoffs doesn't start for 2 weeks, so it's just a 16 and 17 type deal. So that one, like my team's not good, but we're in fourth. So it's only a 10 team league, so it's only top four. If I make the playoffs in that league, I apologize. I don't know how we're 7-6, but I barely got the win last week. A huge shout out to Evan Ingram for overcoming the point deficit I had and the edge out McPherson, the kicker. So huge shout out to Evan Ingram for getting me the 2 point win there on Monday night. So we needed that. Dynasty, I'm already locked for the playoffs. That's just if I'm finishing. I don't think I can finish top two because our dynasty league has a huge problem with people, just fucking tanking their teams. So I can't catch the people there. I mean, I'm going up against somebody who's tanking, so I literally have a free win. But I don't know. It's really annoying. I get it, but we'll see if I come back next year. Truthfully, um, and then in my one Yahoo league, I think I'm in first. So we're doing all right for yearly. We started
Okay.
off.
Tearing up
We
those
st-
yearly streets.
so only for dynasty. Like dynasty, I started off hot, and I'm on like I think I've lost like three in a row. One week I lost by like two, but in my other leagues, I started off bad, and now we're on a hot streak. So can't really complain.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful to hear. Beautiful to hear. I'm sitting in sixth place, in my league. So it's one more week. Just need a win. Winning in. That's all you can ask for.
Amen.
Control your own destiny. We're good to go. We're good to go. So there's going to be some DFS ties with some yearly ties because there's a lot of key players on the main slate that are also on my fantasy team this week. So we're gonna look for some correlation is what we're gonna try to do. So as you know, we go position by position, breaking down our favorite plays, our early favorite plays, because as we mentioned, there's a lot of backup quarterbacks this week.
Well, what is it now? It's like over how many quarterbacks have started in the NFL?
Oh Lord,
It's
I
like
don't know the stat. I know it's insane.
it's an insane number. I mean, but now we get joined. CJ Beathard gets to join that list this week.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have some other quarterbacks maybe on the verge of getting benched, possibly, or a short leash like Dobbs and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, we it's just interesting week. Interesting week.
Absolutely. We got our former was it Super Bowl MVP coming fresh off the couch, getting another start this week as well. It looks like we might have famous getting a start this week with Derek Carr banged up. Like you mentioned, CJ Beathard is going to be one of those guys. Gardner Minshew's already a backup. I mean, like who's not a backup at this point? We got like what Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, uh,
So the
Brock
AFC
Purdy.
West, so the AFC West has stayed pretty strong. So they have all their quarterbacks. The South is down Lawrence, uh, AR-15. So
Stroud
that's it.
still standing, baby. Stroud still
Stroud is
standing.
Stroud is still standing. In the North, you lost Kenny Pickett a couple times. You
Kenny
lost
Pickett
Burrow.
now. We're gonna see Mitch tomorrow night.
I think the over under on that game should be 20.
It's sitting at 30 and a half, right?
It should be 20. Should be 20. Over under 20. Can I bet that?
I told my buddy at work I'm betting the over.
You're betting the over?
Yeah, I'm doing it.
You're crazy. You're crazy, Jesus. You're
Jesus! You're
crazy.
crazy!
Listen,
I
when
don't
the
know. I
graphic,
make I make
like
crazy bets all the time.
when the graphic to promote your team, which is the Patriots, is your coach, that's not good. Like Pittsburgh
Ooh.
showing Watt and all these other guys, and Patriots are like, Bill Belichick. That's
Who
not
are they
good,
gonna
man.
highlight? Bailey Zappi? Ramondre's out.
Andre's out.
Zeke, I guess. I mean, he's a name, right?
Let him cook. Let him eat.
Let him eat. Feed him. Feed that man. But I digress. We don't need to worry about Thursday night. We get to talk about the main slate for week 14. Again, I can't believe the season, of course, is flying past. A little over a month left for us to bank some regular season takedowns in our tournament lives. And obviously, we've already started the conversation with quarterbacks, so you might as well continue it. Who are you eyeing up this week for quarterbacks?
Yeah, we'll taking a look here. I mean, I mentioned this gentleman in our group chat even before the Monday night game. I was heavily interested in Jake Browning. Um, coming off that game against Pittsburgh, I kind of give him a little bit of a slide, like a pass there. Again, Pittsburgh's a really good defense. Um, so again, just to get some more coaching and reps under his belt. He went into Jacksonville. He looked pretty good. I mean, his target tree was pretty small. We'll get to Chase here, once we get to wide receivers, but he does have a small rushing floor. A couple games he's gone over 40 yards, so he does offer that. This Colts defense, at least secondary wise, we've seen it get cooked by number one wide receivers all season. I don't see why that trend won't keep continuing here. So I do like him this week against the Colts. That being said, I also do like Minshew back on the other side. Um, this game in general is going to be up in pace too, in terms of snaps in pace. So I do like it here. Both defenses are kind of middle of the road at best. This game is in Cincinnati as well, but huge game for both teams because both teams are in the playoff hunt, and actually the Colts are in the running for maybe to catch back up to the Jags for the division. Believe it or not, so kind of a huge game for both teams. Again, I think I'm kind of treating this week like last week. Don't get cute. Like I said, I mean, I did take down the early only with Minshew, but playing an early only, I didn't have to worry about Hurts or Purdy. I realistically only had to worry about Tua. But in that lineup, I had Achon and Tyreek Hill, so it's not like Tua put me to bed. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so, uh, taking a look here, Lamar is playing at home against an NFC team. Every time he plays against an NFC team at home, he annihilates them. We just saw this Rams defense kind of get carved up by Joe Flacco. Ravens are coming off of the bye. Again, playing at home. This Rams defense is actually really young too, and you tend to see in the NFL once you start getting into these late December games or these December games, These guys aren't used to playing football this long. You'll see these rookies kind of, slow down a little bit because normally they would be on a break or they would be, get ready for a bowl game or they would be done until next season. Like if you're Caleb Williams. So I really do like Lamar's spot. His options are pretty easy as well. Likely he's going to be cheap. Could be chalk, but he's going to be cheap. And you just pair him up with Flowers. Again, no need to get tricky here. Just play the dudes. Even if you want to play him with the running back, whose name I'm kind of drawing a blank on, but he's pretty cheap as well. He might be chalk as well. It's something we could discuss, but
Yeah,
um,
he's pretty darn cheap. Pretty darn cheap. But I mean, yeah, like you said, we'll run across running back. But I get
and
where you're
then
coming from. Like we kind of talked about a little bit off air that weather might be a concern in that game. Just gonna
and you're
stack up the
100
East Coast a little bit.
right and 100% right. Again, you can however you want to gauge the weather yourself, as a DFS player, that's up to you. Again, I'll just advise everybody, do your research on Sunday, check what the weather is, check all that stuff. But again, I really do like the Ravens here. And then we'll just get to the big game of the week. You and I are just a little bit different on this. I like the Mahomes side of that game. You like the Allen side. I think both plays are fine. Um, I do like this week for Mahomes. This Buffalo's defense is not as good. I understand we did just see Kansas City's defense get carved up by Jordan Love. I'm going to chalk that up to either they were just looking past the Packers at that point, or Jordan Love's just on an incredible roll. I do believe the
He is
Chiefs did
looking
lose.
hot.
I do believe that the Chiefs did lose a starting safety as well in that game, which could bode well. But I really do like Mahomes here in this game. At home, this is a must win for both teams. I mentioned off air, the Chiefs need to win this game to potentially keep it as the Arrowhead Invitational. And Buffalo needs to win this game to stay in the playoff hunt. I mean, pretty much if they lose this game, they still have to play the Cowboys. They still have a couple hard games. They got to go down to Miami. Again, a couple hard games on their schedule. I do believe Dallas goes to Buffalo, so at least that game will be in Buffalo. But I like the Mahomes side. So again, if you want to play Josh Allen, I think it's fine. I'm not going to argue against it. He has the higher upside for sure. But I do like Mahomes. Also, Mahomes has been rushing a little bit more too, um, which kind of helps me feel a little bit better as well.
All right, that's fair. I mean, like, so this week for me, I feel like you can tell yourself a story about a lot of quarterbacks this week, right? So I don't want to say that I'm recommending all these plays. I'm just saying you can tell yourself a story with a lot of these names. So Patrick Mahomes, because he's Patrick Mahomes. Josh Allen, again, must win. Had been carving up these past 2 weeks against the Jets, good defense, and a porous Eagles defense, still putting up gaudy fantasy numbers. Lamar, like you mentioned, always tears up NFC opponents, but again, weather may or may not be a concern. Check again on Sunday. Brock Purdy, who's actually on an absolute heater, putting that MVP case to fruition right now as he's one of the odds-on favorite. You can always tell yourself a story about Justin Fields and his upside. He's at home with against Detroit. Justin Herbert is Justin Herbert. He's probably one of those guys I would probably leave off the list. But on the opposite side, I would probably take Russell Wilson. Much more discounted price, and he was chalkier last week. This week he gets a much better matchup against this deplorable Chargers defense. Even though Bailey Zappi couldn't take advantage of it, I get it. But this is Bailey Zappi, so whatever. Always tell yourself a story about Jared Goff. Solid floor, of course. Josh Dobbs gets Vegas. We hope it's Josh Dobbs at least, but for right now, it's Josh Dobbs. Before that terrible Chicago game, he was putting up insane fantasy numbers as well, and he's still coming in at a cheap price. You've already mentioned Jake Browning. I think he's going to be probably the pay down option this week for a lot of people. Indianapolis, again, pretty middle of the field against the pass. Obvious stacking partners and run backs are going to be in that game. CJ Stroud, leading the league in passing yards. I would with Stroud, unfortunately, this week and this week only, not just because of the matchup going into East Rutherford, but again, weather is probably going to impact that game as well. So unfortunately, we can't use, or we can, but it would be lower ownership on Houston guys this week. Gardner Minshew, like you already mentioned, against Cincinnati. Geno Smith cooked up Dallas last week. Not saying San Francisco is on that level because like San Francisco is probably on this god tier run right now. But if we're talking, hey, garbage time is still points. So if we're looking for some pushback, Geno Smith did light up the Cowboys last week on the road as well. So he could be an option probably at severe low ownership. The Riddler gets Tampa, and we always target quarterbacks against Tampa. And of course, like I said, most likely we're going to get Jameis Winston this week. People are going to start talking themselves into Joe Flacco, is what I'm hearing because of Jacksonville's, that point total is like really, really low. But at the same time, if you need a cheap option, his stacking partners are cheap and you can just load up the rest of your lineups. I get it. So again, that's probably 10 guys I rattled off that this ownership is going to be spread out across because last week we had like 4 that were like playable. This week, you can convince yourself to go a lot of different routes. And I feel like in tournaments, we can exploit that to say, hey, I don't think there's going to be an overwhelming set of chalkier players, but at the same time, everybody saw what Brock Purdy did last week. Everybody saw what Debo did last week and breaking the slate. It's like, do we migrate towards those guys and let the field do that and we can kind of counterpunch the other way? Or do we just kind of say, hey, could this finally be a decent Mahomes game? Could this finally be where we get low ownership on a guy like Lamar if the weather's going to hold up? Same with Josh Allen. So again, tell your story that's going to get you the most upside and allow you to fit the most in your lineup and then kind of go from there. For me, I'm with you on Gardner. I want to play a little Jake Browning. I kind of, but I think I'm going to keep my quarterbacks in the 4 o'clock window and take some shots at 1 o'clock. So if my skill players don't hit that, I can switch off to like from, I don't want to like Josh Allen to like Geno Smith, you know, just depress the ownership, switch my lineups a little bit and kind of make pivots from there. I don't necessarily want to be, even though they're good plays, locked into a couple 1 o'clock guys. Does that make sense?
Right, and again, I think it makes total sense on what you want to do here. Um, just kind of taking a look here. You know, uh, and this is, I know you mentioned Minshew and Browning. I'm just going to kind of add some little bit statistic to this that the Indianapolis contest averaged the most combined snaps, which is at 131.3, and the sixth most total points at 49.7, even against like a Tennessee Titans team who's known for being very slow paced. And that game was still up in pace. I think if you're going to take shots, maybe you take shots in this Colts Bengals game. And again, uh, you know, and we'll get back to the Colts here in a second and running back, but um, both these defenses are kind of just like susceptible to either or. So this is probably one of my most favorite games here on the slate, truthfully.
Yeah, like I said, we're gonna hit it here in a second. I like the skill position players, absolutely. But like I said, as far as like the quarterback play, I don't want to be, I don't, me personally, I don't want my stack in that game. I would love to take minis at that game. Again, Jamar Chase probably going to be chalky. People are going to go back to Zach Moss. There's going to be other bits and pieces of that game in particular, and a few other spots in the afternoon that might be chalkier. You see where the chalk hits or may not hit, and then kind of adjust accordingly from there. I think PMR is going to be very important on the slate on Sunday.
Right, I totally get what you're saying, and this is the great thing about DFS. So like, I kind of want to play it the other way. Like, I want my skinny stack to be in the 4 o'clock window, because like you get to that point where like, okay, you go Allen and Diggs, and if you're going to double stack it, which I haven't been a fan of double stacking this year, like it can work. Obviously, the odds do say that. Um, Once you start double stacking, it's tough. When you start double stacking those really high owned quarterbacks. So like if I play Jake Browning and my skinny is Kelsey and Davis or Diggs and Rice or Diggs and Pacheco, like even in those games, like those touchdowns are still pretty consolidated to, Kansas City, most of the time it's Rice, Kelsey, Pacheco, Buffalo, who's been running a little bit more at this point. It could be Cook, could be Diggs. Buffalo I think has a little bit more of the question marks because it could be Gabe. We've seen Gabe Davis last year cook these boys in the regular season. So um, I would rather just try to play a mini and just see if you can get the touchdowns that way.
Yeah, like I said, again, counter to the argument is that, the quarterbacks, especially one with a rushing floor like Josh Allen, like Buffalo can put up 28 to 35 and he could have two on the ground, one to Secure, one to Kincaid, and you're hoping that the stacking partner in your mini hits, whereas I have the quarterback. So I'm getting them all regardless. It's just
100%.
who does it go to?
100%. And
But
like I said, there's
again, 100% where 100% get where you're going though. 100%.
both ways have proven to work.
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, there's so many intriguing options, especially again, the bigger games are in the late window, San Francisco, Seattle, Buffalo, Kansas City, and, games like that. So, and again, there's different pivot points, and we'll go ahead and running back here in a second because there's a lot of places that you can pivot to at 4 o'clock. But some of the ones that we want to play minus, let's say, Sans CMC, again, most expensive player on the slate, and for good reason. He put up over 130 plus and 2 touchdowns against Seattle last time they met just a few weeks ago, and now they get this matchup at home. Um, I think this is a week where you're probably going to need at least one 49er. It's just which one is going to be the one. Like, obviously, Debo was the one you needed last week, while Ayuk was serviceable, Kittle was kind of absent, and then CMC was serviceable. But we've seen in the past that CMC has dropped over 40 DraftKings points before. I mean,
100%.
it's not a given. He's got the most consolidated floor when it comes to running backs in the NFL, but it's like, where do the touchdowns go? So again, if we're kind of leaning into this narrative of Brock Purdy MVP, could it be the pass catcher's time to shine again? Could it be a Kittle week? We've seen him score 3 touchdowns in a game before. Could it be another Debo week? He scored 3 touchdowns last week. Could it be Brandon Ayuk? Ayuk has gone for over 100 and a splash before. I mean, it's just like, you got to pick it right. But again, I think every one of your lineups probably has to have one of those 4 guys. I don't know if I'm wrong about this, but as we're talking about running backs, I think, especially on DraftKings where he's more affordable, he's 9-2. On FanDuel, he's 10-5, which is like sacrificing a lot for your lineup. But again, if you miss the CMC 50-point day, you lost. So it's going to
Yeah,
be
you're
like,
not you're not winning that GPP.
yeah, simple as that. So it's like the top tier guys like him and Kamara probably are it. And then I'm just looking for lower tier guys at that point. I don't know where you're looking at. So what are you thinking about running back this week?
I mean, taking a look here at running back, I want to go back to the Zach Moss train.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
Um, Again, like Cincinnati did a pretty good job of stopping ETN. I thought ETN was going to have a better game. It was kind of serviceable, not as good. He did get in the end zone. Um,
Yeah, luckily.
so I do like Zach Moss this week. Again, nobody. I don't know what the ownership on him may or may not be at this point.
Oh, he's gonna be chalky. That boy is still very reasonably priced. He's 5,900.
You obviously mentioned McCaffrey. I think Pacheco is going to be a great play this week. Um, I'm probably not touching the Seahawk backfield, whether it's Ken Walker or Charbonnet. I'll probably just pass on that. Playing San Francisco. Um, uh, you do have Josh Jacobs. The Raiders do want to run the ball more, but Minnesota's run defense is actually really good. Um, they've done a good job all season of stopping the run. Taking a look here, and then, again, you kind of get to Kamara. Kamara and Eckler are probably the most two intriguing running backs here on the slate. Like, um, you got Eckler going up against his, like, Denver's run defense is still not great. We did see Dameon Pierce get into the box last week. And then obviously Kamara is playing the run funnel that is the Panthers. Rashad White got into the box last week, had a pretty good game. Um, the only issue with Kamara is this, you do have Taysom Hill there when they do get close to the goal line. That would be obviously the huge concern I would have with Kamara. Um, at least on DraftKings, if you're going to go to Kamara, you just pay the extra 1,000 to go to CMC. On FanDuel, it's a little bit more of an easier kind of decision there, but
That's only
um,
1,500. I'll pay the extra 500 to get up to CMC.
right. And then I think maybe one running. Hey, I know I was talking about this team's quarterback. Is this finally the Joe Mixon week?
Shut up. You
he,
shut up.
he had two
Shut up.
touchdowns on he had two touchdowns on Monday night, so it was almost that game.
Ah, damn it, chill. I guess I gotta hit you with it.
Ain't no fucking way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
The day I play, actually, no, I'll take that back because my
Now hold on.
dumbass did it like 4 weeks
Let
ago.
me hit you with the stat line, just in
Go
case you
ahead.
didn't watch all the Monday night game. He had 19 totes. He had 68 rushing yards and two touchdowns. He also had 6 receptions for 49 yards on 7 targets.
I'm not playing Joe Mixon chalk again. I'm not doing it. You can't make me do it.
You think he's getting chalked?
Listen, it's Zach Moss, Javonte Williams, Joe Mixon, as we mentioned,
CMC.
and one of CMC or Alvin Kamara. Those are your five highest owned running backs. I can guarantee it. Guarantee it. And I'm not playing, even though it's the Chargers and they suck, but I'm not playing Javonte Williams and his 0 rushing touchdowns this year. I'm not playing chalky Joe Mixon. I would definitely play Zach Moss. I'm going to lean into that. I mean, the dude does not leave the field at all. The
Correct.
man
At
missed
all.
3 snaps, and they were in an overtime game. He led the
He
NFL
almost-
in carries inside the 5 last week. He just didn't score. Like we would be talking about a guy that's probably $500 to $700 more expensive if he cashes in one of those touchdowns. Again, the guy doesn't leave the freaking field. So I would take the guaranteed workload. I kind of scared of Kamara only because if Jameis starts, does he actually throw to running backs? That dude's going to eat it.
I mean, it is an interesting decision. With Jameis starting, like Carolina's secondary is pretty good. So it does become intriguing. So to see what kind of route they do go. Again, that could be maybe a wait and see approach to see if Carr is playing or not playing. I don't know if that's like an official decision yet. But that could be a wait and see. Unfortunately, we don't have the privilege of playing Travis Etienne this week. I would have loved to play Etienne this week against the Browns. Well, that's out the window.
Is he hurt or you just don't trust the backup?
I don't trust the backup.
Come on, man. CJ Beathard can move the ball. Wouldn't that just improve Etienne's odds of like getting the rock more?
I would think the Browns are going to stack the box and make CJ Beathard just beat him through the air.
You think Coach Kevin Stefanski, Cleveland's coach, Cleveland's coach.
It's Jim Schwartz on this one. It is Schwartz.
Come on, man. Come on. Stop
it. Hey, I'm just
reasonable coaching in Cleveland. You are a cute man.
So how do you
that ain't gonna happen.
So the matchup's not great, and like Gibbs burned me last week, but the Detroit backfield against Chicago, they're going unowned. Again, it's a good offense, and like
you see Jahmyr Gibbs Price on FanDuel?
I did not.
They're giving him away. He's like 6'9". Are you kidding? A guy that explosive at that cheap? Come on, man. You might have to load that up.
I get it. It's in Chicago. If you want to do the whole outdoors thing, like I totally get it.
It just makes the running game better. That just makes
Chicago's run defense is pretty good. They do have a good ranking. Again, I'm gonna take a look at it at least. I'm probably not playing Bijan against Tampa. That was when he got his one carry game.
Yeah, yeah, it
What a
was.
time! What a time that was.
What a time to
Uh,
be alive.
how do you
Seriously.
feel about Eckler?
Eckler is late swap only for me
Fair.
because that dude looks like a fullback. He looks like slower than Kyle Juszczyk right now.
I don't know if he's still hurt, if they're just not discussing that. So that would be pretty interesting to see. But we
Well,
know
like I
we know
said,
we know with the Chargers, it only goes to two places.
yeah, yeah, period. My philosophy on running back this weekend will probably remain the same come the weekend is that I'm trying to jam them in. I'm going back old school, chill. A lot of my lineups are probably going to have CMC and Kamara in it, just like the old days. Just like the old days. I'm going to try to jam them in this week.
I mean, fair enough.
Because, like I said, the field is going to take one of the two top guys. They're going to take some Kamara or CMC. And then they're going to drop down to the mid tier, play one of, like I said, Mixon or Moss or, Joe Mixon, one of those guys, and then kind of mix them up from there. I don't see myself, or like go really deep lower and like go on the Javonte Williams end. Again, I'm not trusting a guy that hasn't scored a rushing touchdown all year. I'd rather play Russell Wilson in his pass catcher because I ain't playing Jerry
Right.
Jeudy. Y'all can give him away. I'm not playing Jerry Jeudy. You see my man was wide open last week for a walk-in touchdown, and Russell Wilson just was like, nah, and just ran for the first down. That shit was hilarious.
He also missed Mims as well. He undershot Mims.
Again, it's Cortland Sutton or bust. That's it.
I mean,
Period.
I'm taking a look. I'm taking a look here at the FanDuel prices. Isaiah Pacheco at 7K doesn't seem high enough.
I mean, if McKinnon plays, it cuts into his workload a little bit, ever so slightly.
I
But
don't know,
again, I
man.
mean, the Buffalo run defense isn't bad. I mean, like they literally shut down Swift last week, so it was like,
No, I get that, but like Pacheco is a pretty big part of that offense now because their
I
wide
agree.
receivers are just not great.
I
I don't know.
agree.
It's interesting, definitely here. Just taking a look, pricing wise. And then I mean, we can address, is it Keaton Mitchell on both sites?
Uh-huh.
Again, could be another weather dependent play. We see him in this Ravens backfield. I don't think he's officially the starter, but he is getting a lot of work on both sites. He's essentially free.
I think he's
Um,
going to be popular.
it'll be interesting. I mean, because if he's the
What is
guy
he,
that
4.9 on DraftKings? He's going to be popular.
yeah. I mean, and on FanDuel he's 59.
Oh yeah, he
So
fits right in with Team Jam him in. He
he
fits
does.
right
He
in.
really does. Like he is somebody that if you're going to play CMC, I feel pretty confident playing him with CMC as well. Again, could be another weather dependent game, but like if he's coming in at like over 50% or something crazy like that,
Nah,
uh,
he's not reaching Zach Mossian levels of ownership from last week, bro. That ain't gonna
uh,
happen. That
pretty
ain't gonna
nutty,
happen.
but
All right.
could be an interesting play as well.
All right, well, you ready to head over to wide receiver?
I'm ready.
Sweet. So as we mentioned, Jamar Chase, discount. So I think that Jamar Chase is probably gonna be locked in every lineup that I do. I don't see any reason to fade Jamar Chase at this point. I mean, he's just so hard, right? Because like he showed out. He showed out with Browning. He got the Monday night discount. So it's like he may not project well, quote unquote, because of his quarterback position or quarterback situation. But at the same time, I mean, we just saw his upside. So I think he's probably going to be locked in every one of my lineups. Michael Pittman Jr. was one of the slate breakers from last week, alongside with Deebo Samuel. They both, again, back in plus matchups. I don't know if a lot of people will be point chasing, but it creates an interesting dynamic. So I don't know. I think that's where I'm probably going to start with is like kind of making those decisions. Again, I already mentioned Cortland Sutton. He keeps scoring every game. So might as well keep going back to that if you can help it. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be some interesting decision points when it comes to the top tier. And as far as like mid range and the cheaper options, some interesting decisions to make. So I want to see where you're leaning this week and kind of build off from there.
Yeah, so I got a question to ask for you because I think this is probably the most important player, in my opinion, in the 4 p.m. window.
Go on.
Jay Jetta's back. On DraftKings, he's cheap. I mean, he's 8,500. That's pretty cheap.
On FanDuel, he's wide receiver 1 at 9K.
Yeah, because FanDuel don't fuck around.
No, they do not.
But Jay Jetta's back. Honestly, for me, to be honest with you, come Sunday, if his ownership is anything less than
10,
anything less than 10, he's probably in every lineup or close to it. I'll just pay down for running backs at that point. If you're going to give me Jay Jetta and Jamar Chase, I'll take it.
Because we've seen a critical decision point. It's critical
because we've seen Josh Dobbs literally focus. I know now it's the tight ends, but he's never had Jay Jetta.
You think he's gonna roll out his new toy on Sunday?
But would it surprise you if Jetta has 10 receptions for 98 yards, 10 receptions for $1? Yeah, maybe not even a touchdown at that point, but like, would it surprise you?
Cicho, a part of me, a large part of me, wants Josh Dobbs not to start this week. I want that rookie to start. And I would load up Jay Jetta double stacks with him like the entire day. He would probably be my only quarterback. I would let Josh Allen kill me. I would let Brock Purdy kill me. I would let any of these other suckers kill me. But if I get a Jay Jetta stack at like sub 10%, and then correlate that with Team Jam 'em in with Alvin Kamara and CMC, I think we can go old school. I remember the days where we could just jam in all those guys, like your Jamar Chases, Jay Jetta to a lesser extent. Like these guys, I mean, Cooper Kupp is cheap as all hell now. So you could feasibly make a lineup with Jay Jetta, Jamar Chase, and Cooper Kupp and CMC if you want and feel good about it.
What a time.
And feel good about it.
But no, like I said, Jay Jetta kind of for me. Obviously, weather won't affect that game. It's in Vegas. So again, no weather concerns there.
Devontae Adams, another cheap one.
Yeah, I mean, again, those two guys, like, if they have like very small ownership, maybe your 4 o'clock skinny is them two.
Oh, that would be hot.
And like if like I could reasonably see if you make the decision like I'm fading the Buffalo Kansas City game, right?
Oh, that's just gonna be you're ballsy.
Well, like again, if it's like 24-21, the touchdowns are spread out. But if those two go off the sheet, and again, if you're looking at a skinny stack, that's going to be let's say it's under 15% owned, right?
Load it up.
Again, like I could reasonably make that decision because like also this Buffalo Kansas City game, it can go 35-35. It can also go 17-10.
Yeah, but again, I mean, to your point, the and to mine earlier too, like all those touchdowns could be spread out to like 10 different people.
100%. Or they could all be Josh Allen.
I mean,
or they could all be Mahomes.
Man, like I said, man, when Josh Allen is on his revenge tour, the dude is rushing. So inside the red zone, you best believe like the Josh Allen anytime is probably the safest bet you can make on the slate on Sunday.
Yeah, and I mean, like I think Josh Allen's rushing more since they got rid of Dorsey. Also, my concern too with Buffalo, to kind of get off track a little bit here, is like if they do build a little bit of a lead, I think James Cook is going to get some carries. Like I think that's the main difference in this offense between the two coordinators is like they're going to try to establish some sense on the ground because that's been Buffalo's Achilles heel is their best running back is their quarterback and that just doesn't work out.
I
To
guess
kind of get
like you said, if you want to get weird, if you like that's probably the best late swap we can get is like if you miss at 1 o'clock and you got San Francisco guys coming up and Buffalo guys coming up, Kansas City guys coming up, just go to Vegas.
I would
just go to
well,
Vegas, Minnesota.
I mean, you do have the Denver guys. Again, I don't know how chalky or not they will be. Um, those two games, man, they're really interesting. And like Jerry Judy on FanDuel is free.
You would have to pay me to play Jerry Judy. It's not happening.
I get it, but like it's the Chargers and he's 5,800. It's free.
I would really, really have to be in the shitter. Really have to be in the shitter to consider that.
It's free real estate.
It's real.
But no, to kind of get back on track here, I do like the Cincinnati guys. I like Chase. I do like Higgins if you want to get off the chalk, if Chase does become chalk. Keenan Allen, again, playing Denver. Again, we know Herbert only goes one or two directions. We mentioned the two top dogs in the Minnesota Vegas game. The Brown situation, I mean, are we just going back to Elijah Moore at this point?
Am I going back to the shower narrative?
Yeah.
Him and Flacco?
I mean,
I don't know, man. Is Cooper out?
If I like him either way, I think.
I mean, I think he's going to be mega chalk if Amari Cooper is ruled out with that concussion.
I think you're going to be 100% right.
And if that's the case, I'm fucking fading it. I refuse.
For some reason, Kansas City refuses to give Rashee Rice just give him all the snaps. Like, why is his snap percentage still at 70? He's their best wide receiver.
These are facts.
Kelsey. So I mean, I do like Rice.
I think a lot of the people are going to convince themselves into playing like Zay Jones this week too.
Oh, don't.
I mean, there's no Christian Kirk. You know what I'm saying? Because he busted a ball. So I mean,
they have a backup quarterback. Knock it off.
I don't. So Jamar Chase has a backup quarterback.
Yeah, but Jamar Chase is better than Zay Jones.
I get that, but don't make the case about a backup quarterback. Everybody has Jay Jetta has a backup quarterback.
Yeah, but Jay Jetta's. I mean, Josh Dobbs don't care.
Michael Pittman has a backup quarterback.
Yeah, but Gardner Minshew don't care. He's going to target that young man 27 times and be like, he don't care. It's CJ Beathard.
Chris Olave has a backup quarterback. Devontae Adams has a backup quarterback. Elijah Moore has a backup quarterback.
Well, listen. Aiden O'Connell, again, it's not like Garoppolo got hurt. Garoppolo got benched.
Yes.
So, yes, again, a little bit different.
I'll just say, I'm just throwing it out there. Garrett Wilson is down to Trevor Siemian, for Christ's sakes.
Also, Garrett Wilson's coming in at the best value, by the way, for wide receiver.
Again, Weather and Trevor Siemian.
No, man, Zach Wilson's starting.
Oh, I thought it was Trevor.
No,
I thought Zach Wilson told his coach to F off.
No, they just announced today Zach Wilson's the starter.
Zach Wilson is going to turn the ball over 3 times on purpose.
Could you imagine?
Oh, darn. It went to the other team. There's no bigger lock of a defense
than Houston's.
It is a stone cold lock of the week. I'm not playing any other defense besides the Houston Texans.
Are you believing in this Jonathan Mingo hype?
Hell no.
He's been getting a lot of he's past 2 games, he's got a lot of targets, pretty good pretty good. Some yards, not like crazy, but he's cheap. He's 3,500. He's
I
really
was say how
cheap.
many 100 yards games he has.
I think we're goose egg.
How many times he scored this year?
I want to say goose egg as well.
Again, because I'm a FanDuel player, and I need people to
Again, oh,
like
you know what?
score.
We never mentioned this guy, but like technically, you needed him last week. Like Mike Evans broke the slate.
Dude, you can play Mike Evans every week and like not worry about it.
Again, they're indoors. They're in Atlanta. If you're worried about weather, you could just slide on into Mike Evans DMs. Truthfully,
I mean that dude is a hoss. I love Mike Evans, man. And he
um,
always goes like criminally under owned too.
always,
Like
always.
every slate, like no one ever owns Mike Evans, and all he does is score touchdowns. That's it.
I mean, and then I mean, like I talked myself into this stack last week, the Detroit side, but like Detroit's playing Chicago. Chicago's secondary is not well.
I mean, I trust me, I can get behind that as well. And that's going to be a
Uh,
low owned stat because, blah, 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 Jared Goff outdoors, blah, blah, blah. Like, I want to fucking hear that shit.
but again, we did cover a lot of wide receivers here, but again, a lot of quarterbacks are available. The San Francisco guys, I think it's a literal dart throw. If you want to play Debo, we saw Debo cook these boys 2 weeks ago. Brandon Ayuk seems to be slowly but surely the official number one wide receiver. Um, Again, like San
I mean,
Francisco is
Ayuk is the number one receiver. Debo is the number one playmaker, if that
I
makes sense.
that would be I would concur with that statement. But
It's one
again,
of those things where you can't go wrong. Again, you're probably going to need a 49er in every damn lineup. Let's be real.
I'll give you a gross wide receiver take. It's probably Drake London playing Tampa Bay.
Are you trying to convince me of a Mike Evans, Drake London mini?
I don't know if I would go many, but Drake London
You just told me to play Mike Evans.
I said, listen, if the weather got bad,
You just told me to play Mike Evans, bro.
you can play Mike Evans every week.
Okay, then that means I might want somebody back from the other side against this terrible Tampa defense.
So if you want to play Team Jam and Men, just go Riddler with London. The Riddler won somebody $1 million, didn't he?
He did.
It's indoors. It's indoors. Just
Chill.
It's gross.
Chill.
It's gross.
Don't tempt me. I will run out a Riddler stack. Don't get it twisted. Okay, I'll do it. I'll freaking do it.
It's gross.
As bad as I want to jam in Josh Allen, as bad as I want to do that, because that's my heart, that's my boo. But the Riddler has a similar rushing floor to Josh Allen. He might be baby Josh Allen. The turnovers are the exact same. Because he throw it to the other team a couple times. The mother gonna fumble. I mean, I'm just saying. The Riddler might be $3,000 cheaper Josh Allen on this slate against Tampa. And again, this is a divisional game that both those teams have to win in order to win this hapless damn division. So
somebody has to win the South. Somebody has to.
Tell you, man, little Drake London with some Riddler. Run it back with Mike Evans.
I could see myself getting talked into the Riddler if the weather's bad.
The weather's bad where?
In the East.
Oh, East like Coast. It just like messes up like a bunch of games and you got to go to that one?
Correct.
Fair. All right. Well, let's slide over to tight end real quick. And I don't know why. I mean, but we have to. Travis Kelce, sure. If you want to do that, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, Isaiah Likely probably becomes the chalk, at least on DraftKings.
Without question. Without question.
So yeah, you got Isaiah Likely. If you could pay up for Kelce, great. If you want to pay a little bit less for Kittle or Sam Laporta, Sam Laporta. If you want to pay a little bit down for Kelsey and go to Laporta, great. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'll probably just play the most chalkiest tight end. If Brevin Jordan is still the starter and the doctor's out, I'll go back. I don't care. Um,
I'm gonna monitor the Taysom Hill injury closely, because if there's no Taysom Hill, I think that Alvin Kamara becomes a lock.
I would agree. Oh, also David Njoku will probably be super chalky as well.
I mean, Isaiah Likely's $600 cheaper.
I could kind of see it being likely's to for sure chalk. I don't even think that's close, but he's probably the same thing on FanDuel too. On FanDuel, he's 5,200.
Hey, chill. You know who's the
Hey,
direct price pivot? It's Kyle Pitts.
dude, I was about to say Kyle Pitts. I'm like, I know where he's going.
Oh yeah. So you load up the Riddler, you load up Drake London, you load up Kyle Pitts, you load up Mike Evans. You got like a 6% owned game stack, and then just load up. I'm just
If you
saying.
want, if you want a no percent owned game stack, you could always go Zach Wilson, Garrett Wilson, and Tyler Conklin.
Stop it. Get some
Get
help.
some help.
Stop it.
I'm not gonna get behind that. We
Oh.
at the DFS Deli do not advocate anything that man just said concerning any New York Jets. Okay.
It's true. It's all true. But
Yes. Disclaimer. Disclaimer alert.
one tight end that would scare me a little bit this week would be Dalton Kincaid if Dawson Knox is back.
Yeah, Dawson Knox should be back for this one. So that's another one.
So that would scare me a little bit here as well. But yeah, again, I'm probably just playing Isaiah Likely. If not, I'm playing Kelsey. So I'm either paying all the way up or all the way down.
Why can't we just go back to Evan Ingram in this spot?
The Browns have actually been really good against tight end. Like, it could make all the sense. You could play no percent owned Evan Ingram.
Yeah, again, everybody's probably going to load up their blow their load on Zay Jones this week because of no Christian Kirk, or maybe in Ridley to a lesser extent if they're going to get in that game. I wouldn't recommend getting in that game. I mean, what the point total is like 33.5 or something
Well,
like that.
I don't know if those guys are going to be that owned because the Browns defense is the chalk, I would think.
Against Beathard?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe.
I'm
just paying for Houston, dude. I don't care.
I mean,
and the fucking Texans.
Hey, on FanDuel, the Browns are $1,000 less.
They're $1,000. They're $1,000 less on DK as well.
That's crazy. But I get it.
I'm still paying.
More. I get it. I mean, we could slide on into defense unless you got more tight end takes.
Nah, we never have to ever spend unnecessary time on tight end, bro. You know this.
So it seems like for defenses, it sounds like Browns, Texans.
You can get away with playing the Saints.
I think I would agree with the Saints. On DraftKings, they're a little pricey, though.
Yeah, 3.9. I mean, they're $100 cheaper than the Texans, but it's like, I don't know. If we're looking cheap or mid-range, I mean, you got the Vikings at 3,100. You know, AOC.
I think the Ravens defense is a little bit intriguing as well. At home against Stafford.
Or, I mean, if everybody thinks the Kansas City defense is so good, why not just play them against Josh Allen? It's 2,600.
I've contemplated that as well.
I think that if people are going to pay down at defense, that might be where people go. Either that or $2,800 for the Broncos.
I could see the Falcons defense at home against Baker for 29 on DraftKings.
Yeah, 2,900. Like, my case for the Broncos is that The Chargers just put up 6 points against the Patriots.
I get it. So if you actually look at the Patriots, like last couple games here, like they've held opponents to under like what? So they lost to the what was it to the Giants. So they've been averaging 4 points in like their last 3 games, but they've only given up like less than 20. So the defense is doing its part.
I agree. I'm just saying, like, the Broncos were a solid unit for like the past 3 to 4 to 5 weeks. Like when they shut down the Chiefs. They shut down a lot of good teams. They just happened to lay an egg last week. But other than that, like
they did get
team.
Cooked by Strauss.
It's a good defense. I mean,
the defense is
Patrick healthy?
That would be a good question because when he went out,
that's when Nico Collins went the hell off.
Yep.
I was like, why is Nico getting all this stuff? Oh, he's hurt. Oh.
Yeah. I mean, again, might be an interesting situation there to monitor because if he's out, it just becomes another good wide receiver in the 4:00 window.
Facts. If Josh Dobbs is named a starter, we just saw him turn the ball over 4 times against the Bears. Or hell, the Bears. I mean, Jared Goff has been giving it up a lot lately.
Jared Goff has been making some weird decisions.
Yeah, I wouldn't even mind the Bears defense.
In the last game he played against the Bears, he threw 3 picks, like right to the guys.
Yeah. And I mean, they're 2,400, bro. They're the bottom salary defense against a guy that's been turning the ball over a lot lately. At home.
Hey, if you got to find money somewhere, I'm not against.
Oh, I got to find the money, chill. Because I'm jamming them in. That's the philosophy this week, damn it. I'm jamming them in. You will see a lineup. Every lineup we will have like CMC and Alvin Kamara in it. Book it. And if I got to play Chicago's defense, I'll do it. I don't mind. I don't mind that at all. If I don't get up to Houston's defense, because it's Zach frickin' Wilson.
You can't play team jam them in with the defense. That's tough.
That's part of the philosophy of just jamming it in. You gotta just usually high price guys and like a bunch of scrubs to fill out the lineup.
Usually on team jam them in, your scrub is the defense.
Well, I guess that means Chicago is on the docket.
Listen, we both chalked a $1,900 Jets defense once. Got like 7 points. It was fantastic.
Once, man, I did that a bunch of times that year.
Well, they were 1,900 once.
Remember, they were the like overwhelming chalk that week, and DraftKings was like, "We'll never do that again." Yep, got 7 points and was like 1,900.
Perfect.
Yeah, they knew they messed up that week. They knew they messed up. But yeah, man, that should do it for the positional plays. Like I said, don't forget to like and subscribe on your way out. That's always a must here at the DFS Deli. That's the tips we take here at the DFS Deli. Stupid Bears guy. That loser missed again. He sucked.
His beast of the week.
Yeah, his beast of the week, Tyreek Hill. Ooh, bold call, buddy. The other 5 missed. That dude sucks. But I'm sorry. I went on a tangent. So I'm not asking you. I'm not asking you for a fucking 6-pack right now, chill. I'm asking you for a bold take. I'm asking you for a bold call, and don't call it the beast of the week.
My bad. I'll wait for your beast of the week. You're gonna have a cool like slideshow into that.
Oh, absolutely. Name a bunch of meaningless stats.
My bold take for the week. We'll just say welcome back, Jay Jetta. Jay Jetta will go for over 25 fantasy football points.
My best ball teams appreciate that. Thank you. It is the week before. It is the week before the best ball playoffs start. The advances, and I drafted 10 teams. I have 6 of them advancing right now. Nice. And 2 of them just happen to have Jay Jetta on them. So I'm just like, he's just like waiting in the wings. You know, that dude behind the tree.
Damn right, dude
doing that thing. Tree. Just getting ready. I love it. I love it. Let's see. I don't know, man. I think you kind of. I think I convinced myself about playing Desmond Ridder this week.
Like I said, we could talk about it on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean it is a Saturday.
Listen, at this point, you might be playing 10% Jake Browning or no percent Desmond Ridder.
Great point. Point.
But one has Jamar Chase. One has very cheap Drake London.
I mean, yeah. Now you're gonna make me play Josh Dobbs because he has Jay Jetta.
Yeah, no, you just play Jetta. Just play Jetta.
Don't play Dobbs. Play Jetta.
I mean, listen, like again, Dobbs. You're not double stacking Dobbs because of the rushing aspect, so that's pretty simple. You go Dobbs, Jetta, Adams. Good. That's it. Play the chalk everywhere else.
This is fair. Oh man. Give you some. I don't want to be boring and say something like CMC gets in the box twice because that's just boring. We expect
that you're a beast of the week.
Yeah, oh God, dude. I can totally see that. I swear to God. Beers, I know he doesn't listen to this show. I know no one that's subscribed to Road Riders probably listens to this show. But I know I'm better than this guy, and I'm not going to give you the chalk, okay? I'm going to give you a quarterback, Brock Purdy of the San Francisco 49ers. Like, get the fuck out of here. Really? Nice insight, bro. Thanks for helping us win a tournament, you fucking loser. Anyway. All right, bold before we get out of here. You know what? I'm going with it, chill. I'm going with it. The Riddler, Desmond Ridder, 200 yards passing, 50 yards rushing, 4 total touchdowns.
Oh, okay.
4 total touchdowns. Let's just go and say 2 on the ground, 2 in the air. 250 total yards, 4 touchdowns for the Riddler. And he will be the pay down option you need at quarterback this week. The Riddler.
I like it.
That's where I'm going. And who are we gonna pair him up? With? Chill, Kyle Pitts, tight end, the Atlanta Falcons. Take another look here at Kyle Pitts. Everybody's gonna be down on him this week, but not me. We're gonna take advantage of this Tampa Bay matchup. God, he sucks. Oh my God. Anyway, I digress. I'm sorry for the rant, guys. I'm sorry.
Hey, if you're playing the Monday night slate, Tyreek Hill is my beast of the week. Playing the Titans.
Get the fuck out of here. On that note, thank you all for listening to the end. We appreciate you. Good luck with week 14, I should say. Best of luck to everybody still in their seasonal matchups. Hopefully, whatever you need to do to advance, you get there, and we will hopefully see you on Saturday night for the final look and the Contrarian show. And until then, we're going to go ahead and close up the shop and see you all at the top. Peace.